You probably know my current favorite Linux distribution is Nobrara Linux. It's basically Fedora with a bunch of different tweaks and modifications just to make it a little bit better. And ever since I made that KDE Plasma update video, I switched over from GNOME to KDE Plasma. You can see it running here, and overall running KDE Plasma has been an absolute pleasure. Now, the reason for this video is because in the past I've mentioned that the KDE Discover Software Center is an absolute waste. There's even an older video where I talk about some of the things to do after installing OpenSUSE, and one of them is to get rid of KDE Plasma because at the time it was buggy, it would break updates, and overall the functionality of it was not very great. And I do have to say, after using it for quite a while here, it has been an absolute pleasure. All the issues that I've had in the past when it comes to just random functionality issues, bugs, updates breaking, things like that have been completely remedied with a variety of bug fixes in both the 0.25 and 0.26 releases, and now it's gotten even better in the 0.27 or the 5.27 release that just came out rather recently. And just so you can kind of see some of the graphical changes, this right here is 5.26. This is the homepage. We just have some featured applications. But if I do go ahead and switch over to this KDE Neon virtual machine, this is running the latest version. And you can see the homepage makes it a little bit easier to discover new software. We have most popular, editor's choice, highest rated games, highest rated developer tools, just a little bit better as compared to the featured column, which they kind of just flex some of their own applications here. So in this video, we're just going to kind of walk through this application, which now, in my opinion, is one of the very best package management systems that you can use in a KDE Plasma system. But first, I do have to thank Linode for sponsoring this video. Starting as little as $5 a month, you could go ahead and set up your very own Linux server in the cloud. You can pick between a wide variety of Linux distributions or use one of their one-click installers to get an app like Nextcloud, a game server like Minecraft, Docker, really whatever you need up and running with ease. If you use the link down below, that $5 becomes even cheaper because you could get a $100 60-day credit to get started today. And here we are in Discover. Now this is the, like I said, the latest version. We're going to kind of run through this application, check out some of the features, settings, and just kind of talk about some of the things that I really like about it and what I believe makes it the best way to go ahead and grab packages on a Linux system today. First of all, in settings here, you can see the main set of settings is having to do with our various repositories and sources. By default, KDE Neon is the default, but you can see I could just go ahead and make Flatpaks the default, which is my preference. If I wanted to, I could add a new FlatHub repository source. I could go here, it lists all the contents in that repository, remove and move them around based on my preferences. We have firmware updates, so we can see this testing branch is currently disabled in favor for this one. You could easily switch that if you want to, and then under KDE Neon, which is what I'm currently demonstrating this on, we have all the various repositories there. And speaking of repositories, if we head back to our home page here and let's open an application such as KDE here, open this up, we have a lot of information. We have various screenshots, so if I click on this, I could kind of cycle through these and check out what the application has to offer. We have the version, the size, where it's distributed from, and if we go down, we have all the descriptions, links to the websites, documentation, various reviews, sections to donate, report bugs, and one of my favorite things in here is the actual permissions it lists out. So we can see permissions for KDE, it's going to want access to our network, and read access or read and write access to our system files. So when pulling a random application, that is something you might want to scroll down to and check out. Very handy. And then up here, like we mentioned in the settings, we have various sources. So I could pull this from either FlatHub. I could pull it as a snap package since I am technically on a Ubuntu system. And then of course we have the actual operating system or Ubuntu repository there. And installing packages looks nice. If I just click install, you can see right here under tasks, it's working. If I clicked on that, I could get more specific information on how fast it's going, and I could cancel the task here. I'm going to close that out for now. It is a larger application, so that might take it just a sec. And while it kind of finishes that up, we could go over to installed. This is really handy to see all of the items that are currently installed on our system, easily remove them. We can sort them right here, so you can go by size to see if there's anything taking up a lot of room on your computer. This is a fresh install, so there's really not going to be much going on here when it comes to clogging my system. And of course, there's other ways to sort it here. Under About, there's not too much. It just gives us a general rundown of the application. Now, Update, this is where it kind of used to be broken, at least on OpenSUSE when I was running this last. I'd get all kinds of errors, updates would hang up, it was just a problem overall. And at least as of recent, I haven't had any issues, and it's cool because right here we have our software update, system update. We can go to more information and get a really specific list of all the different applications and components of the system that are going to be updated, including if those specific applications have release notes. You can see a lot of these smaller components do not, but if we go to something like AppStream or Gitman, Git, a lot of these will have a release notes associated with it. So you could go ahead and scan all that, go back, and then actually run update all, which will then begin pulling the updates. And of course, we can monitor that here under tasks if we do see fit. Now, while it does that, I just kind of want to shout out how awesome Discover is for application discovery. For example, if I go under internet here and we check out some of these subcategories, so web browsers, a lot of people search for alternative web browsers on the internet. This is a great place to go ahead and find some of those, because this is going to list out, you can see 30 different items of all the different web browsers we have available to us, basically in Linux. Here we have something as common as Firefox, but in addition we have a LibreWolf, which is fantastic if you're looking for a more privacy and security focused fork of Firefox on Google Chromium. Falcon, Brave, Florp, which is another really interesting kind of Firefox clone here. You could of course scroll down, you could see it's actually reviewed pretty well, and we could see all the permissions and everything like that. So let's go back. In here we have Microsoft Edge, Tangram, Tor, a bunch of different things. But then you could go over to Mail, check out some Mail clients. And with how smooth everything is, it's really easy to go and discover a lot of these different applications. This is one of the ways I've discovered a lot of different things that I have installed on my main system. For example, here we have MailSpring, which is a beautiful email client for Linux, and I do believe other operating systems as well. Go back, and for example, if we go games here, it has all the category. You can see the current sort is by rating, so these are your top rated games. Of course, we're going to have 0 AD and Super Tux here, which overall rating is probably the best way to go about sorting these. We have Mind Test, and a lot of these games are really good for just being freely available in these repositories. If you want to see what are the biggest games, we could go by size, which I'm not really seeing anything too familiar to me here. But let's say we wanted to go down to emulators, change the sort to by rating, and here's where we're going to get a lot of different game emulators. So we have RetroArch, we have a PSP emulator, Boxes, which is virtual machine. It's actually what this is currently running in, or this whole operating system, and really a whole lot more. It's just a absolutely fantastic tool for discovery. I do think that Discover is getting a little bit better than the GNOME or GNOME Software Center when it comes to how fluid and easy it is just to browse for really a variety of different things. So like video players here, like a lot of these really highly rated ones I've never even heard of, but like this application here looks absolutely beautiful, something probably worth trying out. The whole point I'm trying to make is this is probably one of the very best ways to go ahead and discover software that you didn't even know existed. Definitely beats kind of searching up like top 10 lists and things like that. And of course, there's not just applications. If you're running Discover, you're probably in KDE Plasma. Here you could get Plasma add-ons and a whole bunch of different things through here, including icon themes, widgets, splash screens. With all that, I do hope you have a beautiful day. There's a bunch more coming soon. If you have any suggestions, leave them down below. The next doc review will be out soon. I've been posting that quite a bit on my Twitter, as well as we're finally going to do one of those side-by-side benchmark video updates comparing Windows, Linux, or a few different Linux distributions to see if after the updates to Windows and all that, there is any significant performance differences. And goodbye.